And in the black trunks, weighing in at 179 pounds from Orange, California, USA. With a record of 13 wins, no losses, no draws, 10 knockouts. The 1995 UFC Pancrase middleweight champion in the red corner. Please welcome Sean McCulley. Your referee for tonight's bout will be Dr. Nelson Hamilton.
All right, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Any questions here? Any questions here? Listen for my commands. Let's get it on.
Now Dr. Nelson Hamilton will be the third man in the ring as he gets set to officiate Russia versus the United States. Well, there was a time not many years ago when the sheer mention of those two countries would really spray a lot of nerves. Not so anymore.
Well, I hate to admit that I remember those days, the Cold War days, but yeah, I was living in Florida during the Cuban Missile Crisis, so I remember it well.
Good. Sit down.
McCulley in the black. Ramazanov in the navy blue with the taped feet.
I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of grappling in this match because these guys are free sparring and more the kickboxing style.
All right.
3 points awarded to Ramazanov.
Well, if you stay on your feet and your opponent touches anything other than his feet to the ground, it's considered like a knockdown or takedown.
Take him back, yeah, relax.
Both these guys are strong fighters, physically strong. You notice when they lock up, it's pretty even.
Yeah, absolutely. Built pretty much the same height. It's going to be very hard for one fighter to get any leverage on the other.
Neither fighter is very experienced with strong guys.
Well, a feeling out round for both Ramazanov from Russia and from Orange, California, Sean McCulley. Now, Blinky, we talked at the outset that both these fighters train themselves, and both you and Don had some of the best trainers available during your eras, and you wonder how that might affect these two.
Well, I'll tell you, both these fighters here, their styles, I'm surprised with the agility of Ramazan. He's got a good left leg that he goes up high with. And also, as we go to the replay here, we'll see Sean McCulley, kind of trying to feint him up high with a left and then go low. But Ramazan was able to leg check that effectively. And here you see again a defensive sidekick really is what put Sean McCulley to the mat.
Well, you made a statement earlier that your balance is very important in this style of fighting, because if you hit the ground, even if you just miss a kick and your opponent doesn't, it's a knockdown.
I'll tell you, Don, that makes it pretty rough. In a sport where, if you fall off balance, you lose points.
Especially when you go for a head kick.
Attempted leg dive there by McCulley, by
Ramazanov from Russia against Sean McCulley. And Ramazanov lands a good leg to the right cheek of McCulley.
And you know, he's gone up there, Phil. He's gone high with that left leg on several occasions now. You know, you look at both of their builds. They're built like fire plugs, you know, low to the ground. You know, the agility that Ramazan has demonstrated is surprising. He's got a fairly quick left leg.
Well, that's one thing you learn in the martial arts is, you know, Blanky, to stretch and be flexible. Even with all this muscle weight they're carrying, they're flexible.
Spinning back fist just misses. Good left leg by Ramazanov, and is taken down by McCulley.
And you know, one thing I've noticed, that every time McCulley tries to take down Ramazan just squats down. He knows how to set his weight down. It makes it real difficult for to be picked up by McCulley.
Well, McCulley got a takedown there.
Come on, keep easy. Keep easy,
Good straight kick by Ramazanov. Oh, did it land?
That was a three-pointer.
Three-point landing as well.
Yeah, good. That's good. Yeah. And well, yeah. On your inch, Both left.
McCulley pumping that right hand to the ribcage of Ramazanov.
That's a pretty good idea. You know, he's about the only one we've seen tonight do that as a counter to the grab. When they start reaching around and grabbing, just dig to the body.
See the leg done? Go on the side. Then we'll stay over here. Yeah. Wham! Wham, John, wham!
Oh, huge throw by Ramazanov. Great amplitude on that throw. That's probably the biggest throw we've seen all night.
And too bad for McCulley, because there's probably 3 seconds left. And that probably cost him the round.
Yeah, he's very unhappy with getting thrown like that. Now McCulley had a good round going in that second round. Before that man, Ramazanov, just took command.
Well, that's one thing about the Dрака rules. You could be winning a round, but you make one mistake and you get taken down clean like that, and you're a big loser.
Yeah, there's that front kick that just put him down.
That would have been a knockdown under any set of rules. Even if that was just regular kickboxing, that's a knockdown. He went down a result of a blow, a strike.
Now watch this grab here. Picks him up, great amplitude here, and just reverses him. That looks like a college wrestling move.
Well, you better drop down on one knee before you throw him if it's in college. I wrestled in college, and that would have been illegal. More like a souffle, a Roman Greco style freestyle wrestling.
We're at the Forum in Los Angeles, along with Blanky Rodriguez and Don the Dragon Wilson. I'm Phil Stone, and we hope you are enjoying a superb night of Dрака here. World Championships at stake, Intercontinental belts up for grabs. This is a tremendous night of kickboxing, Dрака-style action.
I think McCulley tried a couple of takedowns there because he knows he needs to get one back to even it out.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Do it again. Relax. Oh, hey. That's good.
So he keeps dropping in there now. He's trying to get some points with that takedown.
I liked what McCulley did in the second round when he was digging to the ribcage of Ramazanov. Great back leg takedown.
It's a big mistake to lock in there if you don't really know what you're doing. You're just giving your opponent points. And at this point, it seems that Ramazanov is the better at the grappling and the throwing.
Kept the spinning back fist by Ramazan. He's tried it a few times.
Again, Don. Again, yeah. Great. Set it up, Don. Set it up. And up. Kick him.
threw a left hook, right hand. Now he came back with a nice ball kick to the body. Ramazan threw a left hook, right hand, and tried to go in through a hip throw. It almost looked like an Ipansanagi throw, a judo throw, and was unsuccessful. But then came right back with that ball kick to the body, and he's found a home for it. He's nailed it on several occasions now.
Tell you, if you'd have put a target on McCulley's chest, Ramazan wouldn't have hit it any better.
And he's hit it several times. And McCulley better watch out when he lowers those hands from a block, because he can easily get caught in the face.
It's a left hand from Ramazanov.
And those front kicks to the body, they're going to take their toll as far as condition, and they start wearing you down.
Tremendous side kick to end that third round.
Make a deep one. Come on, put your hand between. Put your hand between. Hand between. Come on.
Held outside the forum, a beautiful night in downtown Los Angeles. And one of the prettier skylines on a smog-free evening in Southern California.
Is it my imagination, or does it sound like the helicopter's inside the forum?
Tell you, it is just a gorgeous night here. Winter evening in Los Angeles. Cool outside, but warm inside.
We even had the Shaq with us here tonight here at the Great Western Forum, where last night he scored 22 points. And 9 rebounds. Here we see Ramazan attempting that takedown on Sean McCulley. And now here again we see Ramazan again just clinching inside. Both fighters really content with just holding on right here. And then Ramazan tries to go for the throw, and in fact does throw him. Nice hip throw by Ramazan.
He's the superior grappler. He definitely knows how to throw somebody.
Round 4, the super light heavyweights are scheduled to go 10. Again, Ramazan with a good side kick. Spinning back, this lands to the forehead of McCulley.
McCulley's been pretty good at countering him in there, hitting his legs from the inside. I think it's really had an effect on...
Ramazanov is taken down. And 1 point awarded to McCulley.
That's a good little move. He got behind him.
Kick him, son. We hit it now, yeah.
I'm surprised it's really become a battle of takedowns in this fight.
And again, Ramazanov is taken down by McCulley.
Same kind of move. He kind of gets behind him and pulls him over.
Leg kick, Sean! Yeah. His leg hurt! Yeah! His leg hurt! Uppercut! Yeah! Uppercut!
Neither fighter able to get an advantage in that corner. Final 10 seconds of this 4th round. Oh, is McCulley tumble down. 3 points for Ramazanov.
Yeah, I don't think that landed on the chin. It was like more the side of the head, and the force of it knocked him down. I don't believe really he was actually even stunned. He was just knocked off by the sheer force.
McCulley's mouth wide open. He is gasping for air here at the final seconds of this 4th round. Let's go across the ring to Blinky. Blinky.
I'm here with none other than Don Gibbs. First and 10, HBO, Revenge of the Nerds. Don, you're back for another night of Dрака. How you loving it?
Oh, I love this, man. I came to see Jimmy Mullins fight. It was awesome, you know? I mean, I get so excited. I can't stand it.
I got to tell you, tonight it's been exceptional. The fights have been peaking on and on and on.
It really has been great. I mean, I've had the greatest time. People are wonderful. You know, everybody's having a great time, and it's really fun. Yeah.
Right on, man. Good atmosphere, good people. Back to you, Phil.
Outstanding people, Blinky, and superb fights. And we have a good example of one right here. Let's take you back to the 4th round. McCulley and Ramazanov. McCulley got behind Ramazanov twice in that 4th round and really just pulled him back over. Each scored 1 point, but the big takedown occurred right at the tail end of round 4 when Ramazanov got him for a big 3.
Well, Ramazanov seems to have a little bit more technique for the takedowns, but I'm pretty impressed with McCulley's ability to get behind him, pull him down.
There you go. Nice
Big left leg by Ramazanov, and McCulley just runs right through it.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath.
Kick, Don. Yeah. Kick him, Don. Kick him, Don. Head up. All right, there.
Boy, McCulley really having trouble getting air. He is just sucking air out of this building.
Kick him.
Thank God they got the air conditioner on high, Phil.
I'm telling you, Blinky, he is out of breath.
And he's still got quite a few rounds to go. It's a 10-round fight.
That's what happens when you're not used to the grappling part and the throwing. It takes a lot of conditioning. It takes a lot out of you.
Chopping right hand, and down goes McCulley.
He's really going to become more and more susceptible to these takedowns as he gets tired.
And Don, I'll tell you, that's the exact same technique that we've seen Ramazan do a couple of rounds ago. He threw a left hook, right hand, and goes right into that hip throw. And this time it worked for him. I think it's one of his patent moves. You know how every fighter's got certain technique that he knows works for him. And that looks like a very natural technique that he goes into.
Now you look at Ramazan, Don, he almost looks kind of lackadaisical about his effort in there, but he is superb.
He's putting the pressure on, Phil. He's getting serious right now.
Yes, he is.
He's landing some good blows in there, good hands.
And we're starting to see the experience, really, of Ramazan starting to take control of this fight. It's wearing into the later rounds, and you can see that he's a seasoned fighter, and he's starting to get stronger as the fight goes on. Ramazan in the dark blue shorts.
He's worried about those legs when he's tired.
Kick again.
Uppercut, yeah, nice. More uppercut.
Now 5 rounds down, 5 to go.
Halfway now.
And Ramazanov has really established his superiority almost since the opening round. And I'd be surprised if McCulley Don's going to last another round or 2.
Well, he's looking really tired, and that's why you're going to see a takedown here. Just a foot sweep right there. Just a regular old judo throw. Nothing fancy. He just grabbed, put his leg out behind him, and threw him down. And you're going to see more of that if McCulley's as tired and as fatigued as he's looking to us.
Let's go across to Blinky.
Well, Phil, I'll tell you, no question that the experience of Ramazan is starting to take its toll. He's taking total control of this fight. He's picking his shots. Them earlier front ball kicks to the body have definitely taken their toll on Sean McCulley. I think he might have a chance to stop him soon. Going back to you, Phil, and Don.
Yeah, I agree with that, Blinky. Sean McCulley, they are working over his legs feverishly. He is really having trouble getting there. Got the mouthpiece back in, but his mouth is wide open. Looks like a guppy in shallow water.
Yeah.
Move, turn your angle. Move, don't stay there. Move, don't stay there.
Spinning back fist. fist, and it lands flush.
Well, I'd say McCulley must really be tired because I saw that coming from where I was sitting.
But, you know, he's been trying to throw it all night. He's thrown it 3-4 times unsuccessfully. So I think that's a matter of distance, Don. Sometimes, you know, you work to get that distance, and finally you throw it, and there it is for you.
They exchange right legs, and Ramazan comes out on the big end, and down goes McCulley again. And this is a beaten fighter. He's going to get up and try and go some more, but he's exhausted. Sheer exhaustion.
3 points. Ramazan is getting his lead, is just getting bigger and bigger.
I've seen Sean take a look over to his corner right now, too, guys. Kind of like taking a deep breath. He don't look like a quitter, though. He looks like he came to fight tonight.
Oh, what a left leg. And there's a put down by McCulley. Oh, it was a long time coming.
What happened was Ramazan's sidekick got stuck on the shoulder of McCulley, and McCulley went for the back leg takedown and was effective with it.
He's done it before. He's done it before. It wasn't just a fluke. He's hooked that leg and taken him down before. But he really looks fatigued.
Ramazan trying to set him up for another throw. If he can lock that left arm.
And even them inside leg kicks hurt. For those of you out there in the viewing audience who have never been hit with a leg kick, just times that like about 10 times a Charlie horse.
It hurts me just to, it hurts me just to watch him, Blinky.
I bet it does, Don. You remember back in the day.
McCulley trying to take Ramazanov down, and Dr. Nelson Hamilton's going to stop it from happening as he'll break the fighters. We're in round 6.
And that attempted takedown took a lot out of McCulley. As you just see, Ramazan's got legs like trees. They ain't go nowhere.
Stand up. Good kick right to the head. Right head kick, right kick.
McCulley came in with a record of 13-0, and he's down again. And it was a hard takedown.
It looked like a big right hand to me.
That's a tough kid right there. He didn't have to get up, but he got up because he came to fight tonight. But he is hurt. There's no question about that.
And he doesn't know anything to do but come forward.
That's it. They're going to stop it. McCulley is out of the fight.
You see the corner of McCulley arguing with Dr. Hamilton for jumping in and stopping the fight. But, you know, Dr. Hamilton knew exactly what he was doing. McCulley took that big shot. His eyes went crossed on him, and the referee, Dr. Hamilton, was right there on it and made the right call.
He wasn't defending himself, Blinky. I mean, he was basically just at the mercy of his opponent, just hoping the opponent would miss.
Dr. Nelson Hamilton is now checking with the timekeeper to see if, in fact, that round had ended. But I think it's a moot point. This fight's over. There's no doubt about it. That man right there established himself from round 1, and with a couple of exceptions, or just a couple of hitches, he dominated this fight.
Well, he did, Phil. I know that Sean McCulley's corner's upset because of the 2 knockdown rule. But right there, you see McCulley getting put to the canvas with a tremendous right hand. You know, I was surprised that he was able to even get up from that right hand. But in fact, he did. And we look at it from another angle here. And you see that right hand. And then it's the left hand that really did most of the damage on the way down. There you see the corner of McCulley, and they're consoling him. But, you know, the reality is that you got to take care of the fighter.
He can always come back and fight another day, Blinky, as long as he doesn't take too much of a beating.
That's exactly right. We've seen many fighters get ruined because the fight was not stopped in time.
Ramazanov runs his record at 25-3, while for Sean McCulley, his first loss as a professional.
Tell you, McCulley's a tough kid, though, Phil. You know, you've seen him get up even after the second knockdown. And, you know, he got whacked the second time harder than the first time. He was still able to get up. He's a tough kid, and I'm sure he'll come back for a lot more fights.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Now, Sean McCulley has a good future ahead of him. Doesn't have near the experience Ramazanov has. McCulley's experience has pretty much been in Southern California, certainly in the United States. Ramazanov has fought all over the world and fought well. So the Intercontinental Super Light Heavyweight Championship belt will be affixed around the waist of Ramazanov. Let's go to Steve Fossum and find out when the end officially came.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1:47 of the 6th round, referee Nelson Hamilton stops the bout. Winner by TKO, and the new Dрака Intercontinental Super Light Heavyweight Champion in the blue corner, Ramazan Ruthless Ramazanov.
Ramazanov, he was terrific from the opening bell. Look at that side kick. McCulley trying to move in to throw that big overhand right, and Ramazanov using that side kick, Don, as a jab, as he did throughout the fight.
Well, he scored with the takedowns, he scored with hands, and he scored with kicks. I mean, basically, he had McCulley at his mercy.
Now, boy, what a night of Dрака fighting we have had tonight here at the Fabulous Forum in Los Angeles. Sean McCulley, undefeated coming into that fight against a much more experienced Ramazanov of Russia. And you really find out, when you hail from the heart of Dрака, you come in really with all the tools.
Well, I was actually surprised because you look at his record and it didn't seem like he was going to be that experienced, but he was well-rounded. He used the throws effectively. He did score with some hands, and as
well, we are set. We have another fight in store for you tonight, and this should be a good one. 10 rounds of super middleweight action. I'll tell you, what a night of Dрака championship fighting we have seen here at the Forum tonight. About 4 hours and 15 minutes of non-stop action. And I'll tell you, if people who are tuning in around the country and around the world are wondering, what is Dрака all about? I think those questions were answered tonight, Don.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can just watch it, and you don't need somebody to explain all the intricacies of the rules. You can see the takedowns, you can see the knockdowns,
yes,
and it's pretty much self-explanatory.
Well, the super middleweights are ready, and our first one of the evening here from the United States comes Mike Winkeljohn. Winkeljohn, the USA Full Contact and IMTO World Champion. 21 wins, 8 losses. He weighed in at 165.5 pounds. He's trained by Billy Packer. And this is a rematch. Winkeljohn fought last year against his opponent, Dmitry Tюкалов. And there is Winkeljohn. Fought to a draw against the man he'll see again tonight. Winkeljohn in superior condition. Talked to him earlier tonight, and he was excited about the chance to get it on once more with this man, Russia's Dmitry Tюкалов. He weighed in at 163.5 pounds. He's trained by Nikolai Romanov. He's undefeated 9-0 with 1 draw, and it came last year against a man who is 24 feet across the ring from him, Mike Winkeljohn. And interesting about this fight, they fought to a draw, and then 10 minutes later, they re-added the scorecards, and we were informed that Tюкалов was declared the winner, so he has a perfect 9-0 record. And our ring announcer, Steve Fossum, is set to go and officially introduce the 2 fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be our last Dрака bout of the night. Thank you for coming, and we'll say more of that later. But this is for the Dрака Intercontinental Super Middleweight title. In the black trunks, weighing in at 165 1/2 pounds, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, USA, with 21 wins, 8 losses, and 3 draws, with 11 wins by the knockout. He is the ISKA World Oriental Rules Champion, the USA Full Contact Champion, and the IMTO World Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, please welcome Mike Winkeljohn. And in the green trunks, weighing in at 163 1/2 pounds, from Russia, with a record of 9 wins, no losses, no draws, with 7 wins by the knockout. The 1996 National Dрака Champion, the 1996 third place Russian Kickboxing Champion, and in the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dmitry Jaguar Tюкалов. Your referee for tonight's bout will be Danny Stell.
Okay, fighters, we went over the rules in the dressing room stuff. Protect yourself at all times. Good luck to both of you.
Danny Stell will referee this fight between Mike Winkeljohn and Dmitry Tюкалов in the rematch. Originally called a draw. And then as another fight was underway, we were informed, as was Tюкалов and Winkeljohn, that there had been error in adding the officials' cards, and Tюкалов was declared the winner in a very close victory. Winkeljohn, 21-8.
Well, I know Winkeljohn pretty intimately. I fought Winkeljohn years ago. Ended up winning by KO. But he was a tough guy. And he's still tough. Seems to me Dmitry is more of a puncher. A lot of the Russian kickboxers and I guess some of the Dрака guys come from the boxing.
No question, Don. I agree with that. You can see the style. You know, they might have 9 fights in Dрака, but I guarantee you that they were involved with Soviet boxing teams.
Oh, absolutely. You can't tell me this guy's only been in the ring 9 times. Just watch his hands. They're much better than his feet.
Turn southpaw there. That's an educated move.
Good left-right combination by Tюкалов. And a strong left hand by Winkeljohn.
Hit right in the chest. I think that shook up Dmitry a little bit. And the leg kick, he didn't seem to like that.
You could bet Winkeljohn thought he got jobbed the first time around.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he felt he won the fight. At the very least, it was a draw. And then to announce 10 minutes after the event that the other fighter had won by points, Winkeljohn's got something to prove here. I think what Winkeljohn needs to do is work the legs. He's fighting against a boxer right now, and he needs to take his legs out.
Don, he needs to definitely go after the legs of Dmitry, but at the same time, Winkeljohn needs a little more side-to-side head movement. He's there, and you see that Dmitry has really got an educated right hand, and what he's been doing, even at the end, right at the bell, he countered with the right hand again. So Winkeljohn's got to start giving a little head movement just to keep him off balance.
There is Dmitry Tюкалов. Winkeljohn lifts the left leg. And you saw Tюкалов deliver that left and then an overhand right. How'd you have that scored unofficially for that round, Don?
I'd probably give that to Dmitry. It was close, though, but I think he was superior with the hands and was able to ward off most of the kicks.
Right here we see Dimitri on the attack, going to the body and the head. But you know, Winkeljohn, Don, you mentioned earlier, he's a tough guy and he's cagey, coming out of that southpaw stance. He's got a good straight left hand of his own. And there he tried to throw it there.
Well, he landed it right on the chest of Dimitri once already in the first round.
Nice ball kick with the left leg by Dimitri.
Very sneaky. But Dimitri doesn't like those leg kicks. I can tell by looking at him. He doesn't like it. He's switching up both ways because of that leg.
Tюкалов chasing Winkeljohn across the ring, delivering an overhand right. And now Danny Snell. Danny Snell will break him. Well, you're absolutely right, Don. Tюкалов does not like the kicks to the leg.
No, he's switching up both ways, and normally that means a fighter's leg is starting to hurt. When you start switching up like that, it could be an indication of leg damage.
Nice inside leg kick by Winkeljohn.
You got to keep it up. Keep kicking those legs. Because he's dealing with a puncher here, a heavy puncher.
Yeah, you can see that the effect on the face of Winkeljohn with a little knot and also beginning to bleed from the nose.
That's not going to bother Mike Winkeljohn, though. I think he's had plenty of nosebleeds.
Good right hand to the nose of Winkeljohn by Tюкалов. Round two comes to an end with Winkeljohn again going to the lower legs of Tюкалов. Now their first go around, Winkeljohn's nose was bloodied early in the fight. Now Winkeljohn does not look any the worse for wear. Second round, a good aggressive round for the man in green. That is Dimitri. Now you look at Dimitri fighting well inside. There is Mike Winkeljohn.
There's no doubt
Trainer Billy Packer having a word with him in the round between the second and third round.
Well, Bill Packer's not actually in the corner right now.
No, he's not. Where is Bill?
I don't know. He's listed, but he's not here.
Nope, he is not there.
Dimitri does have a pretty sneaky little front kick.
And that's Ken Harding in Winkeljohn's corner as I look over. Winkeljohn back in Tюкалов up.
Good right leg to the rib cage of Winkeljohn by Tюкалов.
Neither fighter has scored a takedown yet. And we're in the third round. Big right hand by Tюкалов.
And a straight left by Winkeljohn. They traded punches right there.
I think he traded that one. I think he got it right on the money. That left was in there too.
Again, straight right hand by Dimitri.
And an answering front kick by Winkeljohn.
Again, Winklejohn on the move offensively, but unable to land anything clean.
But he is keeping the pressure on, that's for sure.
Round 3 draws to a close, and let's go across the ring to Blinky.
Well, I'll tell you what, this third round, once again, we see both fighters really, they know each other. This is a rematch fight. Both fighters are really picking, their shots, and they're doing all that they can to land, but no one's really landed. The cleaner of the shots only have been landed by Dmitry Tюкалов. As we see here, an exchange there of both fighters. Here we see Tюкалов again. There goes that ball kick that he's thrown earlier. And once again, he comes back with that left hand right to the chin of Winklejohn. And there you got it, Phil. Back to you and Don.
All right, Blinky. Now, this is a tough one to score through 3 rounds, Don Wilson. I think by the narrowest of margin, probably Tюкалов.
Yeah, I've got Dmitry ahead. He's landed cleaner blows. I think what Winklejohn needs to do is work the body and the legs. The head will fall.
We're ready for round 4 action. Well, in their first match, they fought a 6-rounder. This one is scheduled for 10.
And that probably, Phil, speaks to the reason why they're taking their time. They came out a little faster their first fight. In this particular fight, you see them more, trying to be a little more careful, probably with their conditioning, and make sure they can finish strong. I don't see a KO in this fight. I see this fight really being a fight won on points.
Yeah, that'll be bad news for Winklejohn if he's got to wait for another decision.
Right, I think Mike Winklejohn is a tad slower than Dmitry. Aside from the fact that Dmitry seems to be a better puncher.
And also, Don, if you notice that right leg again to the left rib cage of John Winklejohn, you can start seeing it welt up on that side. Caught him a couple of times right with the shin bone. And those can also take their toll.
Now Tюкалов now getting off much quicker than Winklejohn as Winklejohn puts him down.
That's 3 points there.
But Tюкалов, the quicker of the two, there's no doubt about it.
Well, he's younger, and a lot of the speed is lost as you get older.
Referee Danny Stell warning both fighters, saying, hey, when I say stop, stop.
Winklejohn has kind of given up on the leg attack. He needs to pick up that leg attack again.
Final seconds of round 4. Well, this has really become a tactical fight, unlike their first go-around when they pretty much went to the center of the ring for 6 rounds, and I mean wailed on each other.
Well, they're still wailing on each other, but they're just doing it in a more methodical, more strategic way. You'll see here some of these blows here landing. There we go, the takedown by Winklejohn. And here he is. You'll see it from here where Winklejohn is backing up. He sees the leg, he grabs it, sweep. Once you can grab the leg, all you have to do is sweep the back leg. There's really nothing your opponent can do at that point.
Set to go for round 5. Winklejohn in the red and black, Tюкалов from Russia in the green.
Nice back kick by Winklejohn. I'll tell you, if he gets a little more thrust on the extension, it could have done some real damage.
He should have extended that because it looked like it could have been on the money. And that front kick almost caught Winklejohn.
By Tюкалов, Don, pretty much dictating the pace and the speed and tempo of this fight.
He's in great shape, he's young, and he's fast. Even with his hands down, he's a hard target. He can go southpaw or orthodox.
And there you see Winklejohn going to the legs of Tюкалов as his corner yelled, "Go for the legs."
He needs to go for the legs, maybe go for the body with those hands.
Winklejohn just not setting down on his punches.
Stop! One, two inside, Mike. 1, 2 inside. Fight! Get рукой. Дергай руками, Майк, open him up. Не бросаться, не бросаться. Дергай, после выдергивай. После выдергивай, руками дергай. Задергивай. Вот так.
By Tюкалов on the offensive again. Now Winklejohn tries to back him up and deliver a left-right combination. And Danny Stell will separate him.
Mike's just not fast enough to get in there and score cleanly like that. He needs to either try to crowd him or try to counter Tюкалов.
Now we've got 5 rounds behind us in this super middleweight Intercontinental Championship title bout. We're at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, California. And what a fight we have seen thus far. That is Dmitry Tюкалов with his back to you and Mike Winklejohn on the offensive. But I'll tell you, he has run into one depth charge after another from Tюкалов.
Tюкалов is just a little too fast for him. Even with his hands down, Mike can't just land cleanly on him. But it's a close fight. I mean, Mike's definitely making a fight out of it. It's not over yet.
Bill Stone along with Don the Dragon Wilson and Blinky Rodriguez. And what a night it has been of Dрака championship action.
Well, if Winklejohn's going to get into this fight, he needs to start now. You know, it's the midway point, and it's time for him to turn on some afterburners. He came out the first round, Don, and he came out and he looked aggressive. He'd start taking it to him, and then since then, Tюкалов has dictated the tempo of this fight with his quickness and the great distance and timing that he has. Plus, he's bouncing on them young legs.
There you go.
You know, we have seen very little grappling between Winklejohn and Tюкалов. No takedowns at all.
I think
maybe one.
John got one, I believe, and that's why he's kind of gone back to it a couple times.
Stop! Fight! There you go, work the man, Mike. There you go. Uppercut. Stop!
Well, that's where Winklejohn wants to be, where he can get inside and deliver those devastating kicks to the lower legs of Tюкалов. You've got to slow that younger fighter down.
Exactly. He's got to really resort to some roughhouse tactics. When he gets inside, he just got to let him go. Just mix him up, low and high. And that's what he's been effective with when he gets inside. Because he does go to them inside leg kicks, but then he only throws one.
Well, they worked effectively earlier on, and then he just kind of like gave up on them.
This is the 6th round for these super middles. Straight left hand by Winklejohn, but Tюкалов was already backing up. No damage.
Mike's just a little bit too slow to catch him. When Tюкалов backs off, Mike just can't catch him.
Another good round for Dmitry Tюкалов, as Winklejohn unable to land anything. Now Dmitry Tюкалov, talked about it throughout this fight, the younger of the two fighters. You see Mike Winklejohn tried to come on early in that 6th round. And Tюкалов, Don, as you have said throughout this fight, just a bit too quick for the older fighter.
Yeah, he's quick and he's in shape. He's a little more powerful with the hands. He can switch up. He goes southpaw and orthodox, which is confusing to a guy like Winklejohn. And he is not, Mike Winklejohn has not been able to figure him out yet.
And you think that Winklejohn, being that this is a rematch, would have come in with a set game plan. He had the opportunity to take a good look at Dmitry Tюкалов, and actually Tюкалов's doing a lot better this fight than he did the last one. See, and that's exactly what Tюкалов is doing. He's getting off first. He's getting off first, and he's pulling out. And you hear the corner of Winklejohn asking him, get off first. But he's not. Tюкалов is doing that and been doing that all night.
I think the fatigue is wearing on Mike Winklejohn, and he's slowing down a little bit. He's getting hit more. When he gets inside, he's not busy.
And that's where Winklejohn's going to have to do his damage, guys. Once he gets on the inside, he's going to have to really exert himself and try to make something happen, because once Tюкалов gets back on the outside, Winklejohn just can't find him. Nice ball kick by Winklejohn that time. Great idea. He tried it again.
Well, when he went to the body with the kicks and the hands and the leg kicks, he was able to score.
And that's what you were saying earlier, Don. Stay to the body and the legs, and the hit will fall.
Winklejohn trying to muscle Tюкалов here in the closing seconds of round 7. But for Mike Winklejohn, I'll tell you, he needs an absolute nuclear attack in round 8, 9, and 10 to come back in this fight.
Well, I'll tell you, Winklejohn's got a warring heart, and you know, it's not over till it's over. But for right now, that man right there in the green shorts, Tюкалов, has been dictating this fight.
You have to believe, if you're in that man's corner right there, you've got to be telling your fighter, just lean back, take a couple of deep breaths, try and get a second win, because you got to have these last 3 rounds.
Absolutely. In fact, the strategy I was talking about before of working the legs, it's too late for that now. I think what he needs to do now is go right for the chin. You might fake, you go to the body only to open up the chin, because he needs a knockout to win this fight, or several good, clean knockdowns.
3 rounds to go, Blinky. I think Winkeljohn needs a miracle.
Well, I'll tell you, you see the right hand and the left hook that Tюкалов came back with, and he followed up with a sneaky left round kick. I agree with you, Phil. If Winkeljohn's going to do anything, he better turn it on, or he might as well just forget about it. And every time his corner yells out, "Be first, Mike, be first," you see Tюкалов just take that one step back, and he's out of range. And distance is such an important factor in any sport, but in particularly the fight game. Your distance is as important as your quickness.
Tюкалов being warned to watch his head.
You see the speed of Tюкалов. He's so much faster than Mike. But that leg's not going anywhere, and that Mike did land a good leg.
That right hand had some leverage on it by Tюкалов. There's that leg movement from the younger Dmitry Tюкалов. He just gets right out of range. And here's where Winkeljohn has to turn it on. You got to roughhouse him. He's got to start trying to throw him and make something happen.
Take him down. That's his only chance.
Stop! Yeah. There you go, yes. There you go, Mike.
Good left hand by Mike.
You wonder, Danny Stell is breaking them up awful quickly in this discipline that allows grappling.
Right, I think he might be getting in there a little too quick for some of these moves, because there has been some potential grappling going on that's been broke.
Tюкалов, good straight right hand.
He caught a front kick to the stomach.
And round 8 grinds to a close. And again, it is the speed of the young Russian. Let's go to Blinky Rodriguez.
I'm here with Jimmy Hampton. Jimmy, you're here tonight. You've done the longest yard. There's many things and accolades you have under your belt. You know, you were making an interesting comment about the respect shown between these fighters, even though they're out there pulverizing each other.
Absolutely. You know, it's a very rough sport, very tough sport, but it's not a vicious sport. They respect one another. They play by the rules. I think it's really going to catch on.
So I take it you like the sport of Dрака so far.
I like it very much. It's the second time I've come, and I'll be here every time Jimmy Mullins fights, I'll be here.
Right on. Well, there you got it. Jimmy Hampton loves it. Back to you, Phil.
And for good reason, Blinky. It has been one tremendous night of Dрака action. Shaquille O'Neal was here earlier tonight getting his first look at this sport, and it's not hard to understand, Don, why so many people are turning on to Dрака. Here is the 9th round. These super middleweights, Dmitry Tюкалов and Mike Winkeljohn. Well, on my card unofficially, I've got Winkeljohn. The only way he can win this fight is a knockout.
I think that's a pretty safe bet at this point. But it seems like they're both going at it pretty hard right now. I mean, they're not sitting back waiting to get a decision. Both of them are fighting hard.
Tюкалов trying to load up with that right hand. Ninth round, scheduled for 10. Tюкалов trying the spinning back fist, couldn't land it.
It was actually a jump spinning back fist, and I can't remember when I've seen that. Both feet were off the ground and spun with a spinning back fist.
Not unless you were at a point fight, point tournament. But he's still fresh. Tюкалов is still fresh.
Oh, nice ball kick. Nice. Best ball kick landed to the chin that I've seen in a long time by that man right there in the black shorts, John Winklejohn.
Unfortunately, it didn't have the effect that he needs.
Big right hand to the chin of Winklejohn.
And I'm sure Tюкалов is wondering what's it going to take to put this guy down, because Phil, that was flush on his chin.
Oh, I don't think he's going to put Winklejohn down.
And that's the end of the 9th round. So we have arrived at the 10th and final round for these super middleweights. Tюкалов tipped the scales at 163.5. Winklejohn 165.5. Tюкалov trying to run his record at 10-0. Mike Winklejohn possibly looking at his 9th loss against 21 wins. And really it is a superb effort by Tюкалов tonight, fighting Winklejohn for the 2nd time. And it's really this outcome at this point is not in question. Danny Stell asks both fighters to touch gloves for this 10th and final round, final 2 minutes of this fight.
It is still the fight game, and anything can happen. One punch, one kick can turn it around.
Now this is where Winklejohn's got to let it all hang out.
And there's that movement of Tюкалов. That movement is what's really baffled John Winklejohn tonight. Tюкалов will get off 1, 2, 3 shots, and then he pulls right out of range. And all night long, Winklejohn has not been able to figure that out.
Oh, spinning back fist lands on the temple of Winklejohn.
Oh, I think that must have been glancing. If it was clean, that would have been it. You know, this has been an exciting fight. It's been a competitive fight. It's just been a tad one-sided. But Winklejohn has always been coming forward. He's always been keeping the pressure on.
No question, Winklejohn's been more than willing throughout this fight.
Well, one thing's for sure, if Winklejohn does not get the decision and it goes to Tюкалов, he won't be complaining about it. It won't be like before.
Tюкалов trying the spinning back fist, can't land it. Final 10 seconds of this fight. What a war it's been. The second go-around for these super middleweights, Dmitry Tюкалов and Mike Winklejohn. Well, on their first go-around, it lasted 6 rounds. It was initially declared a draw. 10 minutes later, Tюкалов was awarded the victory in a recount of the judges' scorecards. Tonight, Don, they go 10 rounds, and I don't think there's any question. But for the first round or two, when Mike Winklejohn appeared as if he might be able to go to work on the legs of Tюкалов.
Right. But you can see here, we've got a side kick there. It's a little low by Winklejohn, but the style of these guys, Winklejohn was basically coming forward with Tюкалов countering and being the quicker of the two.
And when you look at this fight and you break this fight down, you've got to believe that Mike Winkeljohn will be very, very unhappy with what he did not accomplish tonight.
Well, absolutely. It won't be a case like before where he feels that he got a bad decision or there was some sleight of hand with the judges' scorecard. This time, I think he pretty much knew he was dominated.
Well, Winkeljohn came into the fight, he told us earlier, in superb condition. There will be no excuses on the part of Mike Winkeljohn. He fought a very tough Russian competitor in Dmitry Tюкалов, and a fighter that's younger and I think has a tremendous future in front of him. Very quick.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I fought until I was 38, so this guy's got at least 10 or 15 years left in him.
The style of Dрака, does it take a lot more out of you than perhaps regular kickboxing or Muay Thai style?
Oh, absolutely. This grappling, I mean, if you're not prepared for it, I wrestled in college, so I know what grappling, the kind of strength and the training you have to do to be able to grab and pull and lift someone's body weight. And it incorporates all the conditioning you need for kickboxing with the grappling you need for wrestling or Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, that type of an activity.
And just watching Mike Winkeljohn walk around the ring, he kind of looked over at us and shook his head as if to say, I don't think so. Let's go across to Blinky Rodriguez. Blinky, could he possibly have won this fight?
You know, Phil, sometimes it's just not your night. It seemed like one of those nights for John Winkeljohn tonight. His timing was off, his distance was off. The younger Dmitry Tюкалов was able to really dictate the fight throughout, as we all seen. But he's a game warrior, and hopefully there'll be another day for him. But for tonight, the younger of the two, Tюкалов, he's going to take it back home to Russia. Back to you, Don and Phil.
All right, for Mike Winkeljohn, this was his 33rd professional fight. This will probably be his 9th loss, while for a guy by the name of Dmitry Tюкалов, this is only his 10th fight as a pro, probably his 10th consecutive win.
He's got a bright future, but you know, I'd like to look a little bit further into his record. I mean, he's got to have had either boxing matches or something, because he's so experienced in that ring. I mean, he knows how to pace himself. He's very much a ring general in there, and to be that way within 9 fights is amazing. I mean, he's got to have either an amateur boxing record or something else to back up this kickboxing record.
Don, you fought for so many years. What would you have done? What could Mike Winkeljohn have done in the middle rounds to possibly climb back in it? When you've got a fighter in the ring that is #1, kicks harder, throws punches harder, and is faster, is there really anything you can do to change your game plan to get in it?
Yeah, he needed to keep the leg kicks, the body shots. Just the body's not going to move like the head. When you shoot for this kid's head, he leans back, he drops his hands. You can't score, but the body is there, and the legs are even more so. And you know what? You got a guy who wants to bear down on his weight and throw some punches. You work those legs, it makes it very difficult.
Now, Mike Winkeljohn, as we said, his 33rd professional fight. He came in with a record of 21, 8, and 3. Had 11 knockouts on those 21 wins. The first time he and Tюкалов went around, it was a 6-rounder. Tonight, it was a 10-round fight for the Intercontinental Super Middleweight Championship. And you just get the feeling that those extra 4 rounds, Winkeljohn just didn't have enough gas.
No, he's getting older. As I said, I don't know exactly how old Mike Winkeljohn is, but I know I fought him in, I would say, the mid-80s. And so I know he's a well over 30 years old, and that's past the fighter's physical prime.
Now you look outside the Forum here, downtown Los Angeles, a beautiful winter night outside, temperatures in the mid to high 50s. It is absolutely picture perfect in Los Angeles, California tonight, while inside the Forum, things were a whole lot warmer than that. A full evening of Dрака championship action. We began with a tremendous fight, Hector Pena against Sadibak Isakayev, a fight that began with so much promise. We thought that fight had a chance to go the distance, but 15 seconds into the fight, Isakayev had an eye problem, complained that there was some kind of a foreign substance on the gloves or the leg or the shoulder of Hector Pena. That fight eventually stopped in the 2nd round. Hector Pena declared a winner in a TKO, and then Jim Mullen took the Dрака heavyweight championship of the world away from the legendary Russian Gaidarbeikov in a fight that really, I think Jim Mullen was as surprised as anybody else to win. But on any given night, Don, as you and Blinky know, anything can happen. Well, we've got a decision. Let's go to the center of the ring and find out who won this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this last Draka battle of the night. How about it, huh? Okay, I'm going to get a little bit technical on you here. The bout overall was first ruled as a split decision draw. Now, however, according to Draka rules, the overall winner is decided by the total overall points. Judge number 1 scores at 106 to 100. Judge number 2 scores at 53 to 42. Judge number 3 scores at 79 to 76. The winner by split decision, and now the worldwide Draka Intercontinental Super Middleweight Champion in the red corner, Dmitry Jaguar Tюкалов.
And there you got it again, Phil. We thought that, in fact, the fight was a lot wider margin, but once again, it was closer than we thought.
Planned for March 22nd, right here again at the Great Western Forum. And
well, as we said at the outset of this fight, it would need to be a great effort on the part of Mike Winkeljohn to win this fight.
Absolutely, but you know what? Not as great an effort as we thought, because it was a split decision, so it was a lot closer. It wasn't a landslide victory that we had anticipated.
No, it was not, but Dmitry Tюкалов, for the second time in less than a year, has taken the measure of Mike Winkeljohn. Dmitry Tюкалов, the Intercontinental Super Middleweight Champion. And you take another look at Dmitry Tюкалов, a very serious Tюкалов, and that's pretty much the expression that we had seen throughout the night. And now for Don the Dragon Wilson and Blakey Rodriguez, I'm Phil Stone saying thanks so much for joining us for this wonderful evening from the Forum in Los Angeles, California, of World Championship Draka Fighting. So long, everybody.